Everybody's got rice. Everybody's gonna pay. 'Cause the $1 million man
Always gets his way. Welcome back. So tonight, welcome to the night show. We are going to talk about Pokemon tonight. So if you're a Silver fan watching the channel, just totally skip this one. You get a pass. I'll give you a free pass to just skip this video. I won't complain. I won't complain if you don't leave a comment. I understand everyone. You can skip this one because it's going to be just strictly Pokemon on this one. And even though my best advice right now would be to buy silver, because I mean we're on that silver road of hitting $90 today, which is awesome. But I think it's going to go a lot higher than that. But if I wasn't buying silver or gold, I don't like it. I liked Pokemon's track record. I'm going to go over some things with you, and if you're a person that hates scalpers, we're going to still go over a video explaining why all of you have very good opportunities. Like everyone that has complained that they cannot find Pokemon, you ever notice that like arguments starting to die out now of like everyone that was like, oh my god, the scalpers, I can't find Pokemon. All these fucking losers are holding all the product, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, man, okay, you can't find Pokemon on MSRP. All right, that's the name of the game. If you didn't buy, then you missed out. It is what it is. But there are still some really decent deals out there that, like, if I had to buy into this market, I believe in Pokemon long term. And I don't like gold or silver, which is pretty tough. I don't know who doesn't like gold or silver, but if you don't, that's fine. If I had to make some rational decisions, I would go over these, man. And I feel like even most people will like this. So, I watched Cosmic Eclipse run up from a $300 booster box to a $700 box to $1,000 to $4,000. It sits at $4,000 today. And it is held there for a long time. And I start to really go back and think, it really wasn't even that great of a set. It's extremely expensive. And, like, I understand Team Up being over 10 grand. Still think Team Up's not a bad box, and if you believe in Pokemon long term, it's going to do well. But Evolving Skies. Now, I have had the argument with a few people, and I'm going to explain why. Evolving will never be Team Up, but it is a very good set, and it's one of the better ones, but Team Up has, now, and I'll just do the quick comparison. The Moonbreon is worth like $4,000, and I mean, just the Gengar from, the Gengar Mimikyu is a $4,000 card, not even counting the Lovebirds, which is a $10,000 card now, and then Team Up's a lot deeper set than people think it is. Like it really goes very deep. I mean, if you compare PSA 10 prices and run through Team Up, man, there is just banger after banger. Like Team Up doesn't get enough credit. Like there's like the Magic Card Whale Lord. Like there are like over 15 cards that are like $1,000 plus in a PSA 10. Like Team Up really is pretty stacked to the gills too. Like Evolving Skies, and the pull rates aren't quite as horrendous. They're not great, but they're not as bad as Evolving. But, so Evolving, but still, like Evolving Skies, anyone that complains they can't find product, it was $250 for an ETB. And I had called it out, it was very cheap. Even $400 right now is still cheap for an Evolving Skies ETB. That if you believe in it long term, I'm surprised it's not $1,000 yet. Look at a Team Up ETB, they're $3,000 now. And, what's surprising is like Ultra Modern when we look at it. Evolving Skies booster boxes, they're $2,500. They've went up 25x. The ETBs have only went up 10x. I mean, they were 40, they're now 400. There still is some room for some arbitrage there if you go with the ETBs. And the ETBs are really cheap. And that would be one of my biggest recommendations if I was going to get into Pokemon right now. I would go with Evolving ETBs. That would be one of my strongest, probably number one pick. Because like even 151 regular ETBs are $500. They're not that old. The set's not as good as Evolving Skies. And I really don't understand why an Evolving ETB is that much. I understand why a PC ETB is $1,000 because of the Snorlax promo. That's understandable. But I would have to go with that. And then my pick number 2 would probably be Paldea Fates. No, Paldea Evolved, because it's still only $450 a booster box. I would not buy Destined Rivals over Paldea Evolved. That would be a huge mistake. Because it's a pretty loaded set too. And then my next one would be Lost Origin. Because, you know, there was a time where Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, and Lost Origin were all the same price. And if you look at Fusion Strike, it's like $6,500 a case. Lost Origin's only $5,000 still. Chilling Reign just went from $3,000 to $4,000. It went up some. But and I had said Chilling Reign was a good buy at $3,000 a case. But like Lost Origin's that middle ground where I think it's just as good as Fusion. I mean, it basically almost the same set, with the same card values. And yeah, like Fusion's a little bit better, but like Lost Origin still like $5,000. You're talking under $1,000 a booster box. And to be honest, like this may be the last opportunity in the next couple years that you get these level of prices for the Sword and Shield era. That it eventually, if Pokemon doesn't just horrendously collapse and you believe in it in the long term, this may be your last opportunity to, you know, before Lost Origin is $4,000 a booster box like Cosmic Eclipse. I mean, in my opinion, it's a better set than Cosmic Eclipse. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say better, but it's definitely, you know, it's a strong set. And, you know, like I said, Cosmic Eclipse, I remember seeing it $700. It's now $4,000. So, I mean, if we go by that, you know, it's pretty strong. But why I would go with, if I was going to, it's why I leave out the Evolving Skies booster boxes, because it's already went up 25x, and you're paying $2,500. You're getting in at $400 an ETB on the ETBs, and the ETBs long term. Now the first couple years ETBs stay cheap, but when you get into like the 6, 7, 8 year period, that's when ETBs tend to actually start outperforming the booster boxes and becoming more rare because more get ripped open, less exist, yada yada yada. You know the drill. Like X and Y Sun and Moon era, you know, they dry up. And I mean, most X and Y Sun and Moon era ETBs are actually more than the booster box, or very close to the booster box. So Evolving Skies ETBs at $400, I still would stand by them as like they should be $1,000 by now. And I don't understand it. I don't understand how they cooled off to $250. I was telling you guys to buy them at $250. They're now $400, but like, we could be in the range where Evolving starts to really pump. And, you know, everyone that complains they can't get product, this whole entire time you've been offered great deals. That's why I hate the whole scalper thing. It's like, yes, you're paying more than you originally would have 4 years ago, but the time is now slipping away that if you want some of these sets, Chilling Reign, still $500 a booster box. Like, when this hits 6, 7, 8 years old, you could be looking at a $2,000 or $3,000 Chilling Reign booster box. And I'm not saying this is guaranteed in any way, because the whole Pokemon market could fucking just tumble. I don't know. None of us know. But I am saying if you believe in it long term and you're really bullish on these things, those would be my top picks. And everything else, like Destined Rivals for $500 a box, I'd leave out. Like, why wouldn't you just get an Evolving ETB over a Destined Rivals booster box? I don't understand it, but you know, 151 UPCs are $750. 151 ETBs are like 500 now. And Evolving, like one of the best sets of modern history, still 400 an ETB? I don't know. To me, that seems ungodly cheap. And I wouldn't sell mine for 400. I know that. But these are just all things you should consider if you are in this thing long term. And I really wanted to make a Pokemon video going over these because nobody else probably will. But my first pick would be silver, and then when silver pumps over the next, couple months, then maybe throw some of that into evolving ETBs. But God, it's really not a bad time that if you believe in evolving ETBs, you're still not getting in that bad. I mean, look at the difference. The 25x with the booster box and only 10x on the ETBs. Just something to consider. Anyway, that's all we have for this one. I just wanted to keep it, just go over the history of Pokemon and say, hey, Sword and Shield, it might be the last time to get real affordable prices soon. That's all we have for this one. We're out.